Okay, so workbench looks a little different today. That's because today's video is not a repair video. I bought something new. It's not a sponsored video. I bought this because I wanted it, and let's go ahead and unbox it. I'm sure you have a good idea by the brand and the size of the box, but let me go ahead and open it. I'm sure you also have an idea because of the title. Alright, so I've been wanting one of these for a while now. They're relatively inexpensive, especially for what you're getting. But yeah, let me get it open. Okay, so it's a hot air station. Alright, so here we go. Let's see here. So, curiosity was, does it fit the same tips? And it does not. Has a different size tip for it. Alright. And that is a nice and heavy stand for it. Comes with 3 different tips for it. I tend to go for roughly this size. This is my current one. Maybe the large one for this one's the size I'm currently using. There we go. So that's the one I normally use. Just funny, that's the smaller one for that station. Alright. So there you go. That's all there is to putting it in on there. And this is the unit itself. Got a little ESD plug and the main plug. And that's about all there is to the box. Alright. So, got nice length to it. It's got a big stand. This thing's going to take up a lot more room than my old station did. But it's a lot more powerful, and the temperature's a whole lot more stable on these. So that's kind of the front user interface there. We'll power it up here in just a second. Well, since this is not a sponsored video, I can talk about both of them. So, this is my old hot air station that I had been using before. I already kind of showed it briefly before. So, I like it. It's got the channels where you can set it, and you set the temperature that you want. You get to that temperature, you hold it down, and that sets it. So, it's a super easy to use user interface. Very simple, just on, off. Airflow control there and temperature control there for your preset channels. You can't do a preset for your airflow. You have to manually adjust that, but you can preset your temperatures. Then the only thing I don't like about this particular unit is the cable is hardwired in. I don't like that on any electronics repair equipment because you have your soldering stations and your hot air going. It's not, too unheard of to accidentally, hit a cable with a soldering iron. I keep all of mine tucked around the back, so I don't run into that problem often, but I have nicked like the cables on soldering irons before. So I like it when they have, your standard computer connection on the back, just the little squares there. I like it when you have the removable cables, just for that fact of it's easy to damage. Now, this unit is, it's got a 6 amp fuse on it, and it says it's rated to run at 6 amps, so this one at maximum was 720 watts. It's 720 watts would be the maximum power that could flow through this before it blow the fuse and quit working. So realistically, it's probably like 650 watts or something like that. So it really didn't lack in the power department. That's not why I replaced it. Now, I definitely have noticed, because I've been using the new hot air station for a couple of days now. I unboxed it, and then I've waited a couple of days to do this part, and I'm going to wait a couple more days to actually do my full review of this. I don't want it to be something new to me as I talk about it. So yeah, this unit though, it was a great unit. I'm keeping it. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll keep it on standby for now, but I actually plan on making a second bench because I want to teach other people how to do this stuff in person. I know I already kind of teach it a little bit online, but I want to do some in-person stuff, get more people interested and into the community that are kind of local to me. I kind of want to do like a makerspace thing because I got the CNC machine, I have all of the soldering equipment, I got the 3D printers. I mean, I kind of got the setup going here to do it. So I'm probably in the next year or so going to start like a little local makers club, just something small, nothing huge. I'm not gonna do like a whole maker space or hacker space. I'm not gonna do that, but just like a little club. And we can rotate where we meet. We don't always have to meet here, but I want to have like a second bench so other people can work. Um, so definitely gonna keep this for the second bench. I don't like people using my tools that I use all the time, but I do want to make a second bench. I think I'll have this on that bench, and I'll get a similar one of these T12 soldering irons for that bench too. So yeah, that's the plan for it. I'm not gonna get rid of it. I liked this unit. There was nothing wrong with it. It hasn't ever given me any problems. So this is the big nozzle that came with it. That's what they look like new, and yeah, it's seen better days on that nozzle there. I have a couple other nozzles for them. I just don't see them right now. I do like that you can adjust how tight they are on there. I keep them relatively loose because they don't blow off, but they're loose enough that I can just grab them with the um, thing there and just switch them out. I don't have to unscrew it every time. No point in tightening it down so much that you have to unscrew it. Just get it tight enough that they don't slip off, and then you can change them out while they're hot still, and doesn't give you any problems. So, yeah, I liked this unit. I just really wanted um, to to update. Honestly, I've wanted one of these kind of units for a while now. I was torn in between the ATTEN, the BEST, and Quick. Those three. I went with the BEST over the ATTEN because I ruled out the Quick because it was more expensive than the other two, and I just didn't need to upgrade that bad. And then between the ATTEN and the BEST advertised itself as 1200 watts, while the ATTEN I think is 1000 watts. So that's what got me, was a couple of watts difference. It was just specs at that point because they're the same thing. I think. I mean, I think they're honestly the same thing. I probably just paid $20 more for the BEST over the ATTEN, and it really wasn't better. I don't know. But I'm so far happy with the purchase, but I'm not going to get into reviewing the BEST yet. At least not today. It'll be in 2 seconds in the video, but yeah, I'm gonna give it some time and practice using it some more before I do a review on it. Okay, so let's go over the user interface and just take a good look at it, like in the front angle here with it set up, so that way we can go through it real quick. So the first thing I want to say, my only two complaints about this thing is I don't really like the aesthetics of it too much. Like the branding's a little bit much in this really like cheapo looking white face. I don't like it. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe other people like this kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of pure white for tools and stuff. I tend to go for black or that kind of beige off-white color. I don't know, those are my preferences of tool colorings. I know it's stupid. It's just aesthetics, but that's one of the things I'm like. Same with all the branding on it. They could have just take a note from JBC. Just put your name on there, and that's it. You don't need all of this and that. And yeah, it's a little much, but whatever. And then the other thing is this. Oh, why is it beep for so long? Just give it a quick beep when it turns on. Uh, but those are very, very minor things. If those are the things I'm complaining about with this tool, then there's nothing to complain about, right? It's got this really nice touchscreen on here. The user interface is super easy to use. It's got a Hall effect sensor in here, so that way when you take it out, it goes. Uh, and it heats up super fast. So it took 5 seconds to get to 330 degrees there, or 300 degrees. I wasn't paying attention. Um, so that would have been my channel 3 setting there, I believe. Um, but yeah, super fast to heat up. User interface is super easy to use. So let's go to channel 1, set. We set it. We go 370. And there we go. We've now programmed it again, so it's good to go. So go to channel 2. It's at 350, and channel 1. I'm sorry, that was channel 3. It's channel 1. So those are kind of my channels there, and you can set to set the fan. So let's set this. We're gonna go with 350 at 75%. So let's just hold it down. All right, 75% set. And oops, I forgot to hold down channel 2, so set. All right, and now that's programmed, so we're done. So you can also change it to Fahrenheit if you choose to use that awful way of looking at things. Uh, so Celsius and Fahrenheit. I don't do Fahrenheit with any of my tools. I keep everything in Celsius. It's just easier for me to remember my temperatures. My JBC set in Celsius. This is set in Celsius, and so is my T12 and my desoldering. I keep it all in Celsius. I know some of the older Hacko stuff you couldn't switch between the two, so a lot of people keep stuff in Fahrenheit. But all the newer Hacko stuff, as far as I'm tracking, you can switch it to Celsius also. So I don't know. I don't know why anyone would have their soldering tools in Fahrenheit, because almost all the data sheets for melting temperatures and stuff are in Celsius. Like, come on, get with the times. We don't need to measure things with feet per second for the heat. Come on, let's keep it in Celsius. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough about user interface here. It's super simple, nothing too crazy, nothing you're gonna have to get used to. It's not forcing you to do things in a certain way. I like that gives you a little timer there, see how long you've been heating something up to. Because sometimes I do that. I'd be like, man, I know I'm not supposed to heat up for more than say 2 minutes or whatever. Some of the data sheets, they'll tell you, hey, this product can only tolerate this much heat for this long. So it's great that it has that little timer on there. So that way, as soon as you get started, you go, okay, it took 5 seconds to heat up. Now I'm running the heat around here. Should be at that temperature by now. Okay, let's keep an eye on the timer from there and see how long you're actually giving that particular IC or component heat without having to have like a little timer or stopwatch on the desk. Because I never have that kind of stuff. I don't wear a watch myself, and I don't keep any that kind of stuff around the desk. So I think that's a nice little feature that I wouldn't have thought about. So again, I'm talking about right here where just the little timer starts going as soon as you get it going. So let's move the camera back up to its normal home there, and we're going to remove some ICs off of an old parts board here. That it's about time for me to recycle the circuit board. I've had this parts board for probably 2 years now. I need to get rid of some of these parts boards laying around here, but I don't want to waste any of the ICs. So we'll get to doing that, and we'll move on. Okay, so here we just have one of my old parts boards. I've had this parts board for a really long time, and I just haven't pulled any parts off it in a while. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and harvest all the ICs off of here, so that way I can put this in my recycling pile and just send this to the electronics recycler. So yeah, let's just start pulling stuff off of here with this. So this is at 373 with 65% airflow going on. this IC I'm pulling off here is the stepper motor drivers. I actually do occasionally go through some of these. It's not often, but you sometimes get them. If somebody like shorted a leg on here, soldering to it for some reason, that'll kill them. Same with if you shorted the stepper motors out, they can that can kill these things too. Okay, so there goes the first one. Yeah, I'm just harvesting all of the ICs off of here, so that way I have them for future use. I normally like to keep them on the board, so that way it's easier to find them when I need them. But this board's been laying around for a long time. I should just recycle it and get rid of it. So we'll just harvest these useful ICs off of here. I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background, but I do have my fume extractor going, and that's most of the noise you're hearing. It's not this. This thing is really quiet compared to my old hot air station. Okay, so that definitely took longer than I would have wanted to, but I had the screen in my way, so I couldn't really get those legs. But was still able, without being able to hit the legs directly there, able to heat it up around it enough to get it off of there without lifting any of the pads. So still a good thing. I always struggle to get these guys off of here. If the screen's on, because it's just right there and you just can't really get the hot air station to those legs with the chip on there. But hey, it still came off, so let's get these last two parts, because you go through some of these voltage regulators too. And so that's pretty much all what I want to harvest off of this board, and it's a cold day here in the office. It's probably, well, before I started running the hot air station, it was probably about 65 degrees in here. It's now nice and warm in the office, so because I've been running it for so long. But yeah, I mean, it definitely works great. It certainly has a lot more power to it than my previous hot air station, where it's able to keep up and really, keep pushing that hot air out as I need it, and not fluctuating too much in temperature. Yeah, so I definitely like it. I mean, it does its job. It provides hot air, and it provides it at a stable temperature. It's not fluctuating a whole bunch. Yeah, I struggled to get that one IC off, but that's not its fault. That's really just the fact that you can't get at these legs on this side of it going around it right the way it's at. So took a little bit longer to get that off than I would normally like to take an IC to get off. Everything else came off within the expected amount of time. Didn't turn the whole board brown. That's all just like cooked flux that you're seeing. The circuit board itself is still white, so it's not blowing a ton of heat here. Let's get some. Just clean it off. So some of it I did turn brown a long time ago when I was swapping out some stuff, but here, let's get over here where this guy is, so you can see, it's a good hot air station. It gave me stable heat. I didn't discolor the whole board taking these chips off. It didn't blast way too much heat, because it shouldn't have blasted way too much heat doing it. I discolored this one before doing this at all. I've taken this voltage regulator off, put it on another board, realized the voltage regulator I was using was good, so just soldered the other one back on here. So it was that one wasn't a voltage regulator issue. But yeah, this I had turned brown before that with my old hot air station. But yeah, I think this thing's great. I definitely burned up the dust that because this board's been sitting for so long. I could smell the smoke from the dust of it. But yeah, didn't really discolor the board here, so I'm happy with this hot air station. It really worked great. Um, it gave good consistent heat. I hate this white solder mask too because it really it 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 doesn't lie. It tells on you. It tells everybody when you overheated the circuit board soldering on it. Green and black are a whole lot more forgiving. People don't see that you overheated it nearly as much as the white does. But yeah, I'm super happy with this hot air station. Anybody in the market to buy a $200 or if you're trying to spend in between $100 and $200 on your hot air station, this is what I would recommend. If you want to spend 300 or more, you might want to look at the Quicks and stuff like that, just because they have a longer, better reputation to them. You're more just paying for a name there. I really think you're getting all the features of a Quick or ATTEN in the best. And the best is 1200 watts advertised. I don't have a kilowatt to plug it into to really check to see. But yeah, I mean, this is all what I can really think of to talk about. I mean, it's a pretty simple tool. It takes cold air and makes it hot air. So, what else is there to really say other than it makes the air hot, it's stable, and the feature, it's just got a super simple to use user interface. So, I'm happy with this purchase, and I'd be happy to recommend it to somebody else. And this is not sponsored content. I am going to put a affiliate link to Banggood, so if you buy one, I do get a cut of that. But that wasn't the point of this. This isn't me trying to do affiliate links with Banggood. I just wanted to buy a new hot air station. I've seen a couple of reviews on this thing and decided I was going to buy it. I got it. Super happy with it. So I've made a video and I'm happy to recommend this as it's just it's a great product. I'd say the main things to just be aware of with this hot air station versus my old one, it takes up more room on your workbench. So if you have a really small workbench, this like I do, my workbench it's really small. I need to build a new one. But I have outgrown this. But yeah, if you have a small workbench, I may not want to jump on this. If you just don't own a hot air station and you just need a hot air station, I'd recommend getting one of the smaller ones like I had, because it'll just take up less room on your workbench. But if you have the room for one of these larger stations, man, this thing beats the other one. I like the user interface on there. It's super quick and easy to set the temperatures on it and program your channels there. So yeah, I'm happy with this thing. So I really can't think of anything else to talk about on the hot air station, so I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.